Good day everyone. Today we will tackle about incident response and forensics. First, let me introduce our group members. I'm Moses Kyle de la Cruz. Next is Warjon Marqueno and last is Maricar Mankin. First is what is the incident response? Incident response is the organized approach to managing and addressing security breaches and cyber attacks. It helps minimize damage, reduce recovery time, and lower costs. A strong incident response protects an organization's reputation and data. So, ang incident response ay isang structured na paraan na ginagamit ng mga organization para ma-detect, ma-manage at makarecover mula sa cybersecurity incidents. Kapag maayos ang incident response, mababawasan ang downtime, nalilimitahan ang financial losses at napoprotektahan ang sensitive information. So, the incident response life cycle. There is 5 keys in incident response life cycles. Number 1, preparation. 2, detection and analysis. 3, containment. 4, recovery. 5, lesson learned. So, first is the preparation. Build an incident response plan. Train employees and define communication processes. Set up tools like monitoring, software, and backup system and form an incident response team or IRT. So sa phase na ito, ginagawa ang pagbuo at pag-train ng incident response team. Gumagawa rin ng response strategies at nagse-set up ng mga kinakailangan tools at communication para sa channel. So importante rin ang mag-conduct ng regular drills para laging ready ang team sa real-world incidents. Next is detection and analysis. Identify potential incidents through monitoring, alerts, and reports. Analyze indicators to determine the scope, impact, and type of attack. Prioritize incidents based on severity. So dito, nakatuon sa pag-identify ng possible security incidents gamit ang pag-monitor ng system at alerts and reports. Ino-observe at iniimbestigahan ng mga analysis ang mga anomalies para sa or yung parang something may kakaiba na para malaman kung may incident nga ba. Gaano ito kalala at ano ang impact at sakop ng isang threat na ito. Next is containment. Short term, stop the immediate threat. Long term, remove malicious actors while preserving forensic evidence. Prevent the attacker from spreading or returning. Ang goal dito ay pigilan ang paglala ng incident habang pinapangalaan ang ebidensya para sa investigasyon. So, short-term containment. Agad na aksyon tulad ng pag-isolate ng affected system. Long-term containment, tinatanggal ng tuluyan ang threats at sinisecure ang mga vulnerabilities nang hindi nasisira ang data. 4 is recovery. Restore the system carefully to normal operations. Apply security updates and monitor closely. Validate the no backdoors or hidden threats remain. Sa recovery phase, ibinabalik sa normal operation ang mga apektadong system at services. Ina-apply ang security patches, patuloy na minomonitor ang system at sine-check kung may naiwan bang hidden threats na maaari itong bumalik. So 5. Lesson learned. Conduct a post-incident reviews, document what happened, what was done well, and what needs to improve. Update the incident response plan and training programs. Pagkatapos ng recovery, magsagawa ng throughout interview para i-document ang buong incident at ang mga naging response action dito. Dito natutukoy kung ano ang mga pagkakamali, ano ang naging effective, at paano pa pwedeng i-improve ang incident response plans para sa future. So, conclusion. Ang effective incident response process ensures that organization can swiftly and efficiently deal with cybersecurity incidents, continuous improvement through lesson learned and strengthen overall security posture and builds organizational resilience. In Tagalog, ang pagkakaroon ng effective incident response process ay nagsisigurong mabilis at maayos na na-handle ng organization ang anumang cybersecurity incidents. Ang tuloy-tuloy na pag-aaral at pag-improve mula sa bawat incidents ay makapagpapalakas sa security posture at yung resilience ng buong organization.
Digital forensics and evidence handling. Digital forensics and evidence handling is all about identifying, preserving, analyzing, and presenting digital data in a way that's legally acceptable. So what is digital forensics? Digital forensics is a branch of forensic science focused on recovering and investigating materials found in digital devices like computers, phones, or cloud storage, often in the context of cybercrimes or investigations. So here are the 5 main steps in digital forensics. Number 1 is identification. Figure out where digital evidence might be hard drives, emails, phones, and etc. Number 2 is preservation. Protect the data from being changed or corrupted. Use write blockers and make bit-by-bit copies, imaging of drives. Number 3 is analysis. Examine the data to uncover useful info like deleted files, emails, chat logs, timestamps, and etc. Number 4 is documentation. Keep detailed notes of every step taken, tools used, and findings. Number 5 is presentation. Present the findings clearly and accurately in reports or court in a way non-technical people like judges or juries can understand. And the next is the 4 evidence handling basics. The first one is chain of custody. Track who handled the evidence from start to finish, ensuring it hasn't been tampered with. Second is use proper tools. Forensic software like ENCase, FTK, Autopsy ensures data is collected and examined properly. Third is avoid contamination. Don't modify the original device, always work from a copy. And the last is legal compliance. Ensure the evidence is collected legally with a warrant or consent. So here are the key principles. Repeatability. Another expert should be able to repeat your process and get the same result. Number 2 is integrity. The original evidence must not be altered. Number 3 is relevant. Only collect what's needed for the case. Number 4 is proportionality. Don't over-collect or invade privacy beyond what's necessary. And that's all for my topic.
Case studies in incident response. So we have 3 case studies, which is the first one is the Equifax data breach 2017. So in 2017, hackers took advantage of an unpatched Apache Struts vulnerability. As a result, personal data from 147 million individuals was exposed. This shows how important it is to apply patches as soon as vulnerabilities are discovered and to manage those risks effectively. The second one is WannaCry ransomware 2017. So, the WannaCry ransomware attack also occurred in 2017 and spread rapidly across the global using the internal blue exploit. It encrypted systems and demanded ransom. Many organizations were affected, especially those that hadn't updated their systems. So the key lesson here is to keep systems updated and always have reliable data backups. And the last one is Target Data Breach 2013. So in 2013, Target was breached through stolen vendor credentials. Attackers placed malware in the point-of-sale systems and stole millions of credit cards records. This incident highlights the need for securing third-party access and continuously monitoring networks to detect unusual activities early.